dmgRadio. Who's this?
This is Thomas Lockett from Slave.
Thomas Lockett, the original sax player for the group Slave, had a number of hit records on the Atlantic Cotillion label.
Yes, Atlantic Cotillion, President Henry Allen.
All right. And how long did you guys record with Atlantic Cotillion? With a standard 5-year contract?
It was pretty much a standard 5 years. We did 5 albums beginning in 1976 when we started recording, and that went through 1982.
That's been a couple of decades. How are you living now, Thomas, in 2011?
Everything's good. Everything's good. The group itself, we've been going through some issues with the record company that's turning out all good now, and we're looking forward to getting back on the road soon.
Back on the road, huh? So is this going to be a Thomas Lockett version of the group Slave, or are you guys putting the band back together?
It's going to be quite a few of the original members. Of course, we lost 2 very important pieces to the puzzle this year. We lost Mark Adams, the bass player, who died in March, and Drac actually passed in June. So while they were very important cogs to the system, there's still going to be quite a few original members getting together and going out, hopefully even starting in the spring.
Yeah, that was some pretty shocking news, man. I dare say that I knew Drac when he was, 8, 9 years old. I was in a group with his brother Mike. And that guitar solo on Slide, that thing was legendary. I put it right up there next to Eddie Van Halen.
I said it was a mind-blowing solo. What a lot of people don't know is that the complete rhythm section that was recorded for Slide was all live. So the drums, all the guitars, including the solo, that was one take. That was the first thing that we recorded when we went in the studio.
A lot of guitar players would have been punching that thing in all night long.
We didn't do a lot of live shows. Our whole focus was to actually record and put out records. So we did very few shows. We were pretty much focused on writing new material, and that's what we did. And we made it all the way to New Jersey. We had gained the interest of our original manager, Jeff Dixon, who at the time was a program director for a radio station in Newark, New Jersey, WNJR. He was very interested in working with us, so he brought us up to New Jersey, and it was about 2 or 3 days before we actually went into the studio, we created Slide.
Okay, so you just had a rough framework and went into the studio and jammed it out, huh? Typical Dayton style.
Yeah, I mean, the guys were playing, were actually staying with Steve Washington's parents in East Orange, and about 1 o'clock in the morning, believe it or not, we were playing in his living room at 1 o'clock in the morning, and the guys just hit it. They just went into it, and it was like, what in the world is that? We knew it was good, and we knew it was totally different from everything else that we had done. So we just worked on that, for the next couple of days, and that was the first thing that we did when we actually went in the studio, was record that. Even as we were going in, before we went in, we basically had the entire song mapped out as far as the rhythm section parts and the lead and background vocals. Some of it we pieced together as far as, when you record, certain things you piece together, but the actual lead vocals and the background vocals and everything was basically created in about a 2-3 day span.
Now, who were the lead vocalists on Slide?
There were 2 lead vocalists on that. That was Danny Webster and Floyd Miller.
Floyd plays trumpet or trombone?
Yeah, Floyd plays trombone. He also plays percussion. He actually also plays keyboards. He got into that more later on. And he also plays drums. He hasn't recorded, playing drums, but he is capable of playing drums.
Okay, so you guys are planning to get back to work. You already have some dates scheduled. What's happening with that?
We have sought to gain the interest of certain promoters and agents. What a lot of people don't realize, shows and tours that are put together are usually put together about this time. So this is the end of the year. Very much looking forward to getting out this year and reproducing what we did, many years ago, and hopefully we can bring a smile back to most of our fans.
Now, how many top 10 records did the group Slave chart?
Definitely 4.
Okay.
Slide actually went number 1 across the country. The single and the album at one point. But the next top 10 record was Just a Touch of Love.
Okay.
The next top 10 record was Watching You, which Just a Touch of Love and Watching You are the top sampled records by some of the newer artists these days. Many artists have sampled Just a Touch and Watching You. And that's basically where we've made most of our money over the last, I would say, 2 years or so. But the next top 10 record was Snapshot, which at that time, ironically, that was the first major split in the group.
Okay.
The original leader of the group, Steve Washington, and 2 newer members, we split it off and started Aura. Steve Arrington and the rest of the guys left and went on and toured with Watching You Stone Jam album. I never toured in the beginning days with the Stone Jam album. So they went on and then they recorded the Showtime album. And when Snapshot came out, that did very well. So we basically had right around 4 top 10 records.
Now, as a spinoff, Aura did pretty good on the charts too, right?
We did great. I mean, and the guys, it was interesting because they didn't know what we were doing. We knew what they were doing. We knew that Stone Jam was going to be a very successful album, and sure enough, well, ironically, the first single that came out was Sizzling Hot, and they thought that was going to do well. Well, it did, and then they put out Watching You, and that just blew up. It just, I mean, we were played in New York extensively and all across the country, so that really took off, and as they were probably nearing the end of their Watching You tour, our first major single that we had success with was Are You Single? And that came out late summer, going into the fall of '81. And that was a top 10 record. So, yeah, we had a lot of success with that. I had a lot of fun with that. A lot of fun.
Okay, but this new tour that you're planning, this is about Slave as opposed to Aura, correct?
Definitely, but what we are going to do as well, Kurt Jones is going to join us. We're going to be actually performing all 3 catalogs. We're going to have original members from Slave. We're going to have Kurt Jones, and we're hoping to enlist Starlina. So we're going to be doing Slave songs. We're going to be doing Aura material, and we're also going to be doing Hall of Fame material. One of the primary co-writers and original members of Steve Arrington's Hall of Fame, Charles C.L. Carter, is going to be working with us, and we're hoping that Steve Arrington is going to join us as well. I mean, he's out doing shows, he's busy and doing well for himself. We're hoping that he will join us. He definitely will. I'm being very positive about this, and Steve has just always been one to do his own thing, but we're very hopeful that he's going to join us as well.
Well, hey, we're looking forward to seeing you guys back out there on the circuit, Thomas, and I want to thank you for calling in and spending some time with us this evening. Be sure and tell my buddy Ray Turner, the original player, that I said hey.
All right, take care now.
All right, that was Thomas Lockett from Slave giving us the 411, and we're Looking forward to them doing it big in 2012.